Biotechnology Principles and Processes. In the fourth lecture, we will talk about cloning vectors. Now, what are cloning vectors? Cloning vectors are agents which are used to transfer foreign gene attached to it. Now, after isolation, as we have already learned in the previous lectures, after isolating the foreign DNA with the help of enzymes and also separating out of the gel electrophoresis, that foreign gene will be attached or will be transferred to a new organism. That transferring, it will be done through some agent, and that agent is known as vector. Now, the vectors can be of different types. One type is bacteriophage. Now, what are bacteriophages? Bacteriophages are viruses which attack bacteria. So, what will be done? The new DNA will be joined upon the DNA of the bacteriophage. Let the bacteriophage attack the bacteria and thereby transfer the DNA to it. Second type is plasmids. Plasmids are extra chromosomal genetic material found in bacteria. They are autonomous. They are not in any way related to the bacterial DNA. That is, the main chromosomal DNA of bacteria will not control the functioning of the plasmids. They are independent. They can self-replicate. They can divide. That means, okay, so those plasmids are used as vectors. We will learn in details. Third type is retroviruses, which are used in animals. Retroviruses are also bacteria, okay, these are also viruses which attack animal cells. They transfer the genetic material into them, and then the genetic material will undergo reverse transcription and then thereby get ligated or joined with the main DNA of the animal cell. So such retroviruses are also used. Then fourth type that is used in plants is Agrobacterium tumefaciens. This Agrobacterium tumefaciens, it is mainly used because they have a special type of plasmid called as tumor-inducing plasmid, which is capable of making the plant cell multiply many times. Okay, it can help in, that means the TI plasmid can insert or enter into the plant cell and thereby stimulate the plant cell to divide multiple times. So that is the work of Agrobacterium tumefaciens. We will talk in details about all of these three, but today's lecture will be mainly focused on plasmids. Now, what are the main characteristics of a vector? So this is a plasmid vector that is shown here, this figure. It's named as PBR322. This naming is based on the type of bacteria that it was isolated from. Now, the first character that it should be having is the presence of origin of replication. Origin of replication is a point from where the DNA replication starts, from where the plasmid will start replicating or will start dividing. Because it is very important, and after we join our new DNA, the plasmid should be dividing many times. Then also it helps in controlling the copy number. That means how many times it will multiply. So the two functions are replication and controlling copy number. Second character is presence of selectable marker. Now, selectable marker is something which will help in identifying identifying the cell which has taken up the new DNA and the ones which have not. The ones which have taken up the new DNA, new plasmid, they are known as transformants, and those which have not, they are called as non-transformants. So they will help in identifying which are transformants and which are non-transformants. Now, what is used as the marker? They are mainly antibiotic resistant gene. As you can see here, AMPR. This purple portion, is a gene that provides resistance against the antibiotic ampicillin. Antibiotic is something which kills bacteria. So, if we apply ampicillin, this particular plasmid, in whichever bacteria it might be present, will not die because it has a portion that will resist the effect of ampicillin. Likewise, it also has the tetracycline resistance. So, if we apply tetracycline antibiotic, this will not die. But suppose you add the antibiotic kanamycin to here, then it will die because it does not have any resistance against kanamycin. So, but of course, some other plasmid will have resistance against kanamycin, some other will have against chloramphenicol. So that way, different plasmids or different bacteria will be present in nature. Now, these type of resistance genes are used as a marker. How? We will see in our next slide. Then the next character is cloning site. Now, the plasmid should be having a cloning site or restriction site where the restriction enzyme will cut. These are the portions where they will cut and help us in ligating our new DNA. So palindromic sites, cloning sites, restriction sites, recognition sites, all of these mean the same. These are portions where the restriction enzyme can walk, and upon it our new DNA can be inserted. Now, marker. Antibiotic resistance genes act as selectable marker. Restriction sites are used for splicing in gene of interest, where we can add our new gene of interest. So here again, we have shown a plasmid here. It has a tetracycline resistant gene and an ampicillin resistance gene. These will act as markers. Let us see how. What will be done to this particular plasmid? We will add the enzyme. Okay, we will add the enzyme, restriction enzyme BAMH1, which will cut the DNA at this particular portion. The portion which contains the tetracycline resistance gene will be cut out. So here will be a cut, and even here the green portion will be cut out, removed, and then the same restriction enzyme also will be used to cut our foreign DNA. As already we have talked about it, you can refer to the previous lectures if you find confusion. Yes, so what will happen? We will use the same restriction enzyme to cut our foreign DNA. So even that is in our hand, and here an empty space remains. Here an empty space remains because this was cut and removed out. Now we will add our new DNA to that portion, which was earlier containing tetracycline resistance gene. So our desired gene is here. Okay, so here foreign DNA ligated at BAMH1 site. So BAMH1 site is the cloning site. Next, what will happen? Consequently, this particular plasmid will lose resistance against tetracycline. It loses. It does not have tetracycline resistance anymore because this particular gene is removed. So if you add tetracycline, it's likely to die. Okay, but it continues to have ampicillin resistance because here we have not done anything. It still has resistance against antibiotic ampicillin. So now what we will do, we will grow, okay, we will grow this particular bacteria. Bacteria means this plasmid we have placed inside a bacteria. That bacteria, assuming it has taken up the plasmid, we will grow it in a medium. Medium means a solution which will contain all the nutrients required for the growth of bacteria. We will call it as plate A. We will let this bacteria grow in ampicillin. As you can see here, okay, we are allowing it to grow in ampicillin. Now, if it grows in ampicillin, even after the presence of ampicillin, it is growing, that means this plasmid is still actively working. The ampicillin resistant gene is still actively working. So these bacteria are alive. It shows that they are very active. Next, what we will do, we will take a little sample from this plate and grow in a medium containing tetracycline. Okay, we will grow in a medium containing tetracycline. We will call it as plate B. Now, if the tetracycline containing medium does not allow the growth of this bacteria, okay, does not allow the growth of the bacteria, means what? Means that the plasmid is not getting any resistance against tetracycline. That is why it died in presence of tetracycline. That is why it died in presence of tetracycline, because it did not get any resistance against, or then did not get any protection against tetracycline. Now the question is, why did it not get any protection? Okay, why did it not get any protection? Because the tetracycline resistant gene was replaced by our desired gene. Means what? These cells have taken up the new DNA. Okay, they have taken up the new DNA, and that is why tetracycline resistance was lost, and they could not grow in presence of tetracycline antibiotic. Okay, but if they survive, as you can see here, if they survive, okay, if they survive means what? They are surviving because they are getting protection against tetracycline. When will they get protection against tetracycline? If this gene is still intact. If this gene is still intact. And if this gene is still intact means what? our desired gene was never joined upon the plasmid. That means what? It did not become a recombinant DNA if it survives. But if it dies, means it got ligated to it. Okay, so this is how we can find out whether our plasmid took up the new gene or not. That is how this tetracycline resistance or ampicillin resistance or any other antibiotic resistant genes can act as markers. Okay, so now if it is not growing, means these bacteria, they have successfully taken up our desired gene. Now we can continue our experiments with the rest of the sample. But if they are surviving, they are growing even in presence of tetracycline, means our experiment was futile. It did not work. Okay, it did not work. So this still remains as a non-transformant. So we will eliminate this out and then again restart with our insertion process. So this is how antibiotic resistant genes can act as selectable markers. So in our next lecture, we will learn furthermore about what more can act as the markers, as also we will learn about the other vectors, other types of vectors.